Alright, Ring of the Hawk Season 6 is the show where we watch back a wrestler's short run with a company, and at the end we shove them a final grade to see if they can do the JOB to the HAWK. And of course, if you know a wrestler who can do the JOB to the HAWK, shove their name down in the comments, Jack! Alright, it's just incredible. Was he just a Kliq fool or did he make the ladies drool? Bold X-PAC, as he's become known, made his debut on Raw, saving the real X-PAC from Jericho. The year is 2001 and the crowd go crazy with ECW chants as he drills Y2J in the head with a chair. Match 1, Raw Tag Match, Just Incredible and X-PAC. Wow, that is some horrible music.
Well, certainly Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit on the middle four-way and no way out with Chris Jericho and X-PAC.
And they take on the Radicals, Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Credible starts with Eddie. Credible beats him in a fistfight and he hits a set-out powerbomb on Eddie from the corner. He isn't finished as somehow they botch a DDT, the crowd groan and moan. Eddie grabs his eyelash and hits him with a backbreaker suplex. Chris Benoit has the tag. Credible manages to avoid his Germans and he connects with a Northern Lights suplex for a 2. Credible tags X-PAC. It's actually pretty incredible to hear the hate in unison that X-PAC gets. He's probably the most hated man in the WWF. He does a lot worse than Credible, and he has to help out his friend by sneaking into the ring and hitting stereo superkicks on Eddie Guerrero. Chris Benoit gets the tag and he suplexes Credible on top of Pac. Benoit continues by smashing him with 3 German suplexes. He can't hit the diving headbutt as X-PAC drags his partner away. Pac instantly rolls up Benoit for the 3. A surprising result and squeaky clean. Credible didn't really look that impressive here, but at the same time, I was somehow impressed he even hit a Northern Light suplex. It's a D. Match 2, Raw, WWF Tag Titles. Okay, not sure what they did to get a title shot already. The Hardy Boyz, the defending champions against Just Incredible and X-PAC. X-PAC starts getting Sonny Siaki's ass handed to him, so he grabs an eyelash and tags Credible. Matt throws him with an arm drag straight away. Matt Hardy whips him around the ring and gives him a gut-wrench suplex for a 2. Pac takes a cheap shot, allowing Credible to axe smash Matt out of the ring. Credible and Pac send Matt into the ring pole, nutsack first. Credible manages to lose his team's advantage, sliding into the ring pole, nutsack first. Jeff gets the tag and he drop kicks the 2 morons down. The Hardys do poetry in motion. Matt hits the twist of fate and Jeff nails the swanton bomb. But Prince Albert drags Jeff out of the ring and presses him into the crowd, and the match has been thrown out. So Albert has joined this incredible group. Who could possibly stop them? It's an S. Match 3, SmackDown 6-man tag. The Hardy Boyz team up with Billy Gunn to take on the X Factor. Credible and Jeff to start this one. It doesn't go well when Jeff drop kicks him. The Hardy gives him a double stomp down in the corner. Matt floors him with a clothesline for a 2 as well. Credible tags his big brother. This is going to be a long day, isn't it? Credible returns later on and he gets a Jeffrey jawbreaker and a leg drop to the nutsack. Lita also drags him into the ring pole. Only 3 matches in, I don't think Credible's going to be having any children anytime soon. Billy Gunn turns him inside out of a clothesline and hits a lovely tilt-a-whirl power slam. Albert and X-PAC are sent from the ring. Credible is turned inside out in the corner and Billy Gunn nails the one and only. It should be over, but X-PAC breaks up the pin. And the match is just thrown out soon after for double DQ because everyone's just doing whatever the hell they want. I don't think Credible managed a single offensive move in this one. It's an S. Match 4, Raw, Grandmaster Sexay and Steve Blackman versus the X Factor, Credible and X-PAC. At least the music's improved now. Credible and Sexay start. Grandmaster hits a neckbreaker and a suplex. Blackman has the tag and he sweeps out Justin's leg and hits a running reverse elbow to the back. He tags out. The match ends up breaking down and X Factor send Blackman into the ring pole, nutsack first. X-PAC is dominating now. This crowd hate this man so much. It's got me thinking, is X-PAC doing a good job having the crowd universally hate him, or is he doing a bad job for being just unwatchable? Let the Hawk know down below. Anyway, Credible has the tag but loses the advantage straight away. Grandmaster comes back in. He slides Uncredible's legs and hits an Unzaguri. He isn't finished with Credible and DDTs him. Sexay climbs to the top rope now where Albert stops his dive and he hits the Baldo bomb from the top. Just Incredible makes the cover and somehow wins the match without hitting a single move. It's not going well, is it? It's an S. Match 5, SmackDown 6-man, Grandmaster Sexay, Steve Blackman and R-Truth versus the X Factor. Surely they can win this one fair and square, and hopefully Credible can actually land a move in this one. Credible starts with Blackman and immediately has his legs swept out. Blackman misses an elbow, but Credible runs into a spinning kick. Blackman hits him with a belly-to-belly and he tags R-Truth. Of course, he's going his K-Quit back then. Truth hits a head scissors and dives into the splits, costing his team the advantage as Credible tags X-PAC. Albert does some fun stuff for a while. Shame we aren't watching him instead. He tags Credible, who manages to hit 3 punches before tagging X-PAC. Even their double team fails. The match breaks down and X-PAC hits the X Factor. He puts Just Incredible on top of him for the pin, but Grandmaster Sexay flies off the top with the hip hop drop. The pin is broken up. Truth tries the splits into the kicks, but instead of his own kick, it's Credible and X-PAC. That's the 3. Wow. What, am I supposed to celebrate Credible hitting 1 kick? Jesus, this isn't good. At least the match was fun. It's a very generous D. Match 6, SmackDown Tag, the APA versus X-PAC and Just Incredible. He starts with Bradshaw, which doesn't seem wise. He seems to have a bit of fight in him though, until Bradshaw big boots him. X-PAC saves him from a powerbomb and Credible dumps his nappy of fear and tags out. Credible has to return the favour soon after saving X-PAC, but he shouldn't have turned his back and Bradshaw clotheslines him out of the ring. On the outside, Credible is sent into the ring pole by Bradshaw before Albert takes his head off with a bicycle kick. X-Factor hit Bradshaw with a double suplex for a 2. He's fine though, and he catches an X-PAC dive and even big boots Credible at the same time. The right to censor interfere with the APA closing in on the victory. Buchanan hits a scissors kick and X-PAC beats Bradshaw. Not good, it's an S. Match 7, 6-man tag, the X-Factor, who once again have new music. Still not the dreaded Uncle Cracker song though. They face Steve Blackman, Grandmaster Sexay and Billy Gunn. It feels like it's just going to be much of the same. The Grandmaster hits a neckbreaker, Steve Blackman gives him a one-man flapjack and a shoulder tuckle. As usual, Credible's partners have to come to his rescue and he runs away and tags out. Jesus, just let Albert wrestle the whole match. Why would you even tag Credible back in? He's a known failure. Think we're going to have to start thinking about changing his name here. Yep, Blackman kicks him and X-PAC down, costing X-Factor the advantage. Gunn takes the tag and floors X-Factor with a clothesline and smacks. Credible is hit with the one and only as the match completely breaks down, just like every week. Grandmaster Sexay hits Credible with a hip-hop drop, but Albert makes the save and X-PAC hits the X-Factor on Billy Gunn with Credible being rolled on top for the 3. Just do something. Anything. Why is he here on this show? This is truly one of the most pointless WWF wrestlers of all time. This is appalling. They should change his name to Barely Credible. Match 8, Raw 6-man tag, the Dudleys and Spike versus the X-Factor. The fight starts on the outside. Bubba brings Barely Credible to the ring and sends him upside down in the corner. He crushes him with a Bubba Bomb ass breaker and Spike has the tag now. Spike chops him down before Albert comes to rescue, but Credible smacks out his own guy by mistake. This guy is useless. Spike completely ignores Credible and dives out of the ring onto Albert. Yeah, better stick to fighting guys you know you can beat, Spike. Credible returns to the match and tries a double team with X-PAC. As usual, it fails. Devon gets the tag. He snap slams Credible for a 2. Albert tries to save Credible as usual, but ends up squashing his own guy. They get rid of him and they hit the 3D on Credible. It's over. Ugh. Barely Credible. Less than Credible, more like it. Match 9, Raw. Oh, singles match. That's different. What a treat. Less than Credible takes on Bubba Ray Dudley. Here we go then. Bubba whips him all over the ring and nails a back suplex. Bubba is winning, so X-PAC grabs Bubba, allowing Justin to hit a super kick. Justin now hits a snap mirror and a neck snapper. X-PAC takes another cheap shot as Credible hits a DDT for a 2 count. Bubba finally fights back by hitting the ass breaker. Ray keeps going with a back body drop. Credible dumps his nappy of fear and begs for forgiveness. Bubba won't give him any though and sends him upside down in the corner and connects for side slam. No pin is made, instead he tries a diving ass drop which misses. Credible also tries a dive which is countered with a Bubba cutter. It should be over but Albert pulls the referee out of the ring. X-PAC runs into the ring and hits Bubba with a spinning heel kick. Somehow Bubba kicks out. The ref has completely lost the plot at this point and the Dudleys hit the what's up on Just Incredible. That's the 3? Wow, I don't think I've ever seen the what's up end a match. Credible must truly be a jobber. Truth be told, it wasn't that bad, but it feels like all these supporting characters are making these matches good. It's a D. Match 10, Backlash 2001, 6-man tag, the Dudley Boys and Spike Dudley versus the X-Factor, where Uncle Cracker is now present. Yay. It's the Spike Dudley show in the early going. He's thrown out of the ring at Pac and Credible. The action starts in the ring now, where Spike almost catches Credible out of a crucifix pin and another roll-up. Justin desperately knees him and tags out. He's involved again moments later as he slams Spike, but Albert misses his ass drop. Prince Albert handles business now and tags Credible back in. Credible gives Spike a corner powerbomb for a 2. He misses his sliding drop kick straight after and tags are made. Later, he comes back into the match calling Devon a little bitch and jabbing him in the jaw. Devon tries to mount a comeback, but wow, Credible actually does something and he hits a sidewalk slam. Albert back in now. Bubba eventually joins the match and X-Factor is screwed. Bubba hits the ass breaker to Justin. Man, Bubba hates his ass. Now Bubba sends him upside down, which is the setup for the what's up. This time it doesn't actually end the match, but I'll tell you what does end the match. Double super kick, X-PAC and Just Incredible. Well, that was a shocker. It's a C, not too bad. If he keeps this up, we're going to have to upgrade him to Barely Credible again. Match 11, Insurrection 2001 4-team elimination tag, Edge and Christian vs X-Factor vs the Dudleys vs the Hardys. The tag belts aren't even on the damn line. The poor UK fans were screwed here. Credible starts with the ass buster Bubba Ray. Bubba wins a striking battle and hip tosses and scoop slams Credible over the ring. Justin dumps his nappy of fear and runs away and tags out. Credible eventually does get the tag back and he's quickly clotheslined by Matt. Jeff takes X-Factor down with a double dropkick and they hit a poetry in motion. Albert is in the ring for some reason. I don't even know what Justin tries here, but he just charges his own partner out of the ring for some reason. Jeff Hardy beats X-Pac with the Swanton Bomb. It's an S. Match 12, Raw 6-man table tag. The Dudley Boys and Spike versus the X-Factor. The Dudleys don't even let them get in the ring and they launch Spike at him. X-Factor recover and they all hit shots on Bubba in the corner, even Credible with a super kick. But Credible misses his follow-up clothesline and Bubba busts his ass. Nothing else happens and Raven interferes, hitting Albert with a kendo stick and Spike wins with a Dudley dog through the table. It's an S. Match 13, Judgment Day 2001 Tag Team Turmoil. X-Factor enter the match with the APA holding the ring after already eliminating 2 tag teams. You'd think X-Factor would be in a rush here, but they're not. Bradshaw quickly hits Justin down and launches him out of the ring. Bad move because X-Factor team up on him. As usual, Albert's the difference maker. It doesn't matter anyway, and back in the ring Bradshaw hits a snap slam. He tags Farouk, who seems extra aggressive towards Justin. He gets a 2 on a leg drop. Justin then manages a reversal, throwing his face into the mat and he tags X-Pac. They repeat that spot from earlier in this video where Bradshaw was about to throw X-Pac overhead and he kicks Justin down, but instead Albert sweeps his legs out and X-Factor beats the Acolytes. I'm shaking, I'm in shock here. Out next, it's the goddamn Hardy Boyz, so X-Factor are definitely screwed. The Hardys quickly whip the twins together. More tandem offense continues. Albert drags the rope down to turn the match against Jeff and they send him into the ring pole, nutsack first. He's fine though and he double drop kicks X-Factor away. Jeff beats X-Pac with the... No, Albert breaks the pin up. Jeff gets rid of him but shockingly, wow, Justin Credible hits a super kick on Matt Hardy and they actually beat the Hardys. I cannot believe this news. X-Factor are going all the way, baby. This isn't even for the damn tag titles, but they're going all the way. Imagine running this sort of gauntlet and not even getting a belt for winning it. The next tag team out are Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit. Yeah, they're definitely screwed now. I think I've said that before. He actually has a pretty decent trade-off with Chris Benoit, who's already been in a 2 out of 3 Falls match earlier in the night, but Credible still can't beat the Wolverine. The X-Factor Spike Piledriver is broken up and Credible is catapulted into X-Pac. Justin Credible gets suplexed on top of the interfering Albert, and the Chris crew win with their double submissions. Come on now, squad, we weren't expecting X-Factor to beat them. They held on for much longer than I expected, and for the first time ever, they look like a threat. Thanks to Albert. It's a C. Match 14 tag match, the Hardy Boyz versus the X-Factor. Credible can't even land a damn move on Jeff as he's dragged all over the ring. Credible desperately grabs an eyelash and tags out. Pac does a bit better, and X-Factor send Matt into the ring pole via his nutsack. God, this guy is useless. Jeff Hardy leg drops his nutsack, pretty sure there's nothing left in there by the way now. The Hardys hit him with poetry in motion. They try another on X-Pac, of course he avoids it because he's actually competent unlike Credible. Eddie Guerrero stops the X-Factor double team. More and more shenanigans and Jeff Hardy wins with the Swanton Bomb. God, get these guys off the show, they suck. Match 15, SmackDown 6-man tag. The Hardy Boyz team up with Eddie Guerrero to take on the X-Factor. Justin starts out screaming in Matt's face, not sure what he could possibly be bragging about. Matt almost beats him straight away with a roll-up. He tries to recover with a float over which doesn't work and he's back suplexed. Latino Heat has the tag, he hits a scoop slam and a slingshot senton. Wow, but Credible blocks his next move in the corner and actually hits a diving bulldog. I can't remember the last time he actually did something. It was possibly match 1. He tags Albert. Matt slams the 2 idiots together, but I don't think it did much damage, there was nothing in there to damage. Albert beats Matt with a Baldo bomb after Matt caught Eddie creeping on his girl. It's still an S, doing one move and being the blandest of blands doesn't impress the Hawk. Match 16 Raw tag match, the Hardy Boyz versus X-Factor. Why doesn't Credible tag with Albert instead so we can have more bold boys wrestling? As usual he does nothing until hitting Matt with a super kick on the outside. He joins the match with a set-up powerbomb out the corner like we're back on match 1. It's all for nothing when he misses his corner basement dropkick. He gets a poetry in motion before Lita interferes with diving Hurricanrana on X-Pac. Jeff wins with the Swanton Bomb. A D, who cares? Match 17, 6-man tag. Kane and who else but the Hardy Boyz take on the X-Factor. Man, I feel like this whole run is deja vu. Jeff hip tosses and arm drags Credible before he grabs Hardy's eyelash and tags out. Useless. The twins try to interfere on the apron, but Matt smashes their meatheads together. Justin makes a comeback against Matt Hardy with smacks in the corner and a powerbomb. Credible takes time to have a fearful glance at Kane before tagging out. Jeff gets a hot tag and he drop kicks Credible and sends the twins from the ring. Albert saves them from Jeff's dive. Justin just vanishes as Kane starts destroying everyone and they win with a chokeslam and Jeff Hardy's swanton bomb. This run is truly one of the most miserable of all time. Match 18 is more of a moment than a match. Credible joins the Alliance and Team ECW, which signals the end of his involvement with X Factor. It wasn't going well, but it's about to get worse. They're supposed to have a battle royal against Team WCW and WWF, but instead the WCW and the ECW merge together to make the Alliance. It's an S. Credible would be one of the most pointless members of the Alliance as he disappeared from the main show for 2 months and he mainly teamed with also unwanted talent Raven. He should have stuck with the X Factor. Match 19, Raw Tag Match. Okay, it's the Impact players, Justin Credible and Lance Storm. They take on Edge and Christian. Edge looks extra greasy tonight. Well, the former ECW Tag Team Champions don't seem to be on the level of the WWF wrestlers on the big stage. But I was in for a shock. Credible hits a bad looking DDT on Christian and his corner powerbomb. That's about all he can manage though, as he's whipped into Christian who falls off the apron into the crowd barrier which keeps him out of the rest of the match. Edge has to fight them on his own and he destroys them with ease. Credible super kicks his own partner and Edge beats Credible with the execution. It was still slightly funner than the other matches, it's a bit more focused, a D. Match 20, SmackDown Tag Match, the Hardy Boyz. Well, this run truly has zero variation. What did Credible ever do to the Hardy Boyz? Did he steal Jeff Hardy's swanton bomb maneuver or something? To be honest, the Hawk didn't even think he was capable. He teams with the man called Raisin. Good to see someone else in the crowd remembers Justin's first run in this company. 2 seconds into the match, Matt kicks out at Credible for interfering. He rushes the ring and gets back body drop whilst Matt is holding Raven. He also does a head scissors headlock takeover to them. These guys don't know what they're doing. The ECW guys are smashed out of the ring so Jeff can dive on them. Credible actually does something right though in this one as he pulls the top rope down on Jeff to get his team the advantage. Credible powerbombs Jeff for a 2. Lita starts annoying everyone so Credible throws a warning shot kick in the air. Matt Hardy and Credible fight now. Matt hits him with a neckbreaker. Credible bizarrely hits him with a back suplex. He even manages to save Raven from the twist of fate with a superkick and he almost wins. Like a goof though, Credible tries the twist of fate which fails and Matt shows him how the move is done. Jeff wins with the Swanton Bomb. Now can we please for the love of God get Justin Credible away from the Hardys? Probably the best match where he actually did something. It's a very kind C. Match 21, SmackDown Tag Match, Chris Jericho and The Rock versus Raven and Justin Credible. 2 of these things are not like the other 2. The Rock and Jericho are partners who don't get on. Credible and Raven eventually stomp down The Rock. Jericho flips and starts hitting everyone with a steel chair and the match just ends. It's an S. Match 22, SmackDown Alliance Battle Royal for a shot at the WCW title. I saw Credible 3 times in this match. Once when he was getting scoop slammed, another time when Hugh Morris hits him with the no laughing matter, and a third and final time when Booker T eliminated him. It's an S. Match 23, Survivor Series Immunity Battle Royal. This was always my favourite pay-per-view as a kid, not really sure why. Credible and Storm actually managed to eliminate Palumbo with double super kicks, although all the credit on commentary is given to Lance Storm. But then Credible is eliminated by Chavo Guerrero and Hugh Morris, 2 guys who aren't even part of the match. It's an S. Now, despite the invasion angle ending, Credible somehow stayed employed for another year with the WWE. Whoever negotiated his contract deserved every penny they were paid. Match 24, final match, 2002 Raw. Dave Batista versus Justin Credible, who doesn't even get an entrance. Credible looks like a petrified rat. Batista quickly shoves him in the corner and throws him across the ring. He delivers a one-man flapjack. Surprisingly, Justin manages to block 2 corner attacks, but Batista stops his dive and hits a slightly botchy-looking Green Bay plunge. Credible dodges him again in the corner and tries to smack Batista down to no effect. Batista snaps and takes his head off. He wins with the Batista bomb in just over 1 minute. It's an S. Game over. After this, Credible would have a blink and you miss it stay in TNA, a random WWE return where they rebooted ECW which didn't last long either, and then it was off to the indie oblivion. Most recently, Justin Credible was accused by Maven of scamming fans and no-showing indie shows. Justin has blamed his drug addictions and leg issues for how his life has turned out. This run was pretty bad. Justin rarely got to show anything other than being a useless jobber who looked like a bold X-PAC. When he was an X Factor, he was the weak link and was completely overshadowed by his partners. When he was in the Alliance, he was a weak link, completely overshadowed by his partners. I think the problem was that Justin didn't really have a big selling point. He was just an all-rounder. Not the most powerful, not the most athletic, not the most charismatic, and not the greatest wrestler. He was just acceptable. Or if you ask the Hawk, just a moron. He was a Paul Heyman success story in ECW, but he wouldn't find any success on the big stage. Plus, he was involved in the X-Factor and the Alliance, both of which pretty much sucked. X-Factor could rarely beat the Hardy Boyz, they faced them in 9 of these matches and it really hurt them. Justin barely wrestled on the main show during the Alliance period. What I will say is Credible never really had a chance to show what he could do in any capacity, so we've got to shove Justin a final grade for Ring of the Hawk Season 6. And I do have to say, this run was completely worthless. He's going in the shove it zone. I would never hire this guy to my roster because he's just an imposter, and if you don't agree with that, me and your girl will explain how you lost her.